What's going on, homies? Welcome to the Cracked Soccer Podcast, episode number 10. Double digits, ladies and gentlemen. We finally made it to double digits. Wow, pretty amazing, to be honest. Pretty sweet. I am joined today by none other than my two homies, Fern, Fernando Jimenez. Say what's good.
What's up, guys? Ready for number 10 for my favorite player, Lionel Messi?
Boo. Nice. And we have Angel, El Chino, Lopez. It was good to the people.
If only you could perform as well as your boy Messi has on the leaderboard, Fern. Unfortunate.
Shots taken, man.
What's good, my people? Good to be here. Welcome back. Let's get to it.
Heck yeah, man. Love it. And then again, my name is Angel, El Capitan, Reyes, with the 10th episode. Today is Tuesday, April 22nd. Recording this a little bit later on in the day, but we're getting after it. Awesome week that we all had. Obviously, every week is a great week when you have lots of soccer games to watch. All of them on Saturday. Didn't have a lot to do on Sunday, but hopefully everybody had a good little Easter. If you celebrate Easter, a little bit of time away, but time to relax, not be stressed about the games on Sundays.
You didn't watch the remontada on Sunday?
I watched other games, yes, that's for sure, but obviously no.
It's actually Saturday, you're right.
no MLS games. Chill Sunday for sure. But with the games on Saturday, there was some movement on the leaderboard. Fern, if you will, please share the leaderboard.
Oh, please, I don't want to show these. Please don't do this to me.
We're going to see what's going down. Oh, my goodness. Look at that. Hey, guys. Who's in first place? I got to
Angel?
ask you already know. Baby. He is up there up top with 53 correct picks, man. That's nutty. Pretty solid. I believe I only had 6 correct picks this week. Was it 6? 5 maybe?
Yeah, 6.
6 picks from this last weekend. Pretty tough week to call. Honestly, a lot of upsets here and there and a lot of tied games. But we do have Lopez trailing very, very close. 52 correct picks. Man, you can never... You're always there, man. What's the secret?
Just know, bro. There is no secret. It's all in the gut. It's all in the gut feeling sometimes.
It's easier to be good at something when you don't think.
Hey. There's a strategy there. There's no secret. There's a strategy. But
there you go.
In any summer classes. So I'm locked in. This leaderboard is mine. Prepare yourself.
All right, man, we're gonna hold you to it, and we're gonna see. But 52 correct picks, man, that's pretty good. I believe you had 5 from this last weekend, so it's pretty good. And then at the bottom with 49 correct picks, let's go to the leaderboard. Fernando, what's going on, man? I mean, it's been, I believe, 4 straight weeks now that you've been in the bottom.
I don't know, man. I don't know what to say. I just am not good. And just to get me out of this embarrassment, I'm going to go into the next section and pour one out for my weekly picks. And I guess I'll pour one out for myself as well, since I kind of have to leave the state of Utah now that RSL lost to Toronto. So it was nice knowing you guys, but you won't see me here next week.
Anybody watching this show, if you're a good realtor outside of state, let us know. Drop a comment. Your boy Fernando needs someone. I need somebody to help.
Give me a good state to move to. I'm going to move to New York.
There you go. No, it's very much the same, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. But yeah, so speaking of, I'm just going to go right into my weekly picks. I did my pour one out just to get it out of the way. So I'm going to go first into my player of the week, and I'm just going to share my screen just so you guys can kind of see some of the stats I'm looking at. I'm actually going to go with Ferreira because I had him kind of high up at the beginning of the season, and I feel like he hasn't had the best season so far, but he did have 2 assists this week, kind of making up pace for Rusnak and what's his name? Why can't I think of it right now? Jordan Morris.
Yep.
Yeah, So yeah, he came in, he helped the team win by giving 2 assists, helping with that Rusnak being out, and Jordan Morris coming in the 62nd minute, but not doing too much. The game was pretty much over by the time he showed up, which I think was kind of one of the things I had said was like, if he comes in once the game's over, I don't see him doing much. That's kind of how it was. So yeah, like to see Jesus Ferreira doing good for his club. He's only 24 years old, so he's only going to get better as the time comes and as he plays a bit more. Switching to a new team can sometimes leave a bit of, what's the word, like growing pains, I guess. He's played in Dallas for his entire career, and he just came to the Seattle Sounders. He's, instead of all that dry heat, he's now in the humidity of it all. So
yeah, and that rain.
yeah, so
Yeah, that's nuts.
I
That's pretty
think this
solid.
game should help him get more used to everything. And then my game of the week was actually this Charlotte game against San Diego, just because I feel like they, not possession wise, dominated them, but I just feel like anytime they had the ball, they were just kind of all over San Diego, which is kind of, I don't want to say surprising, because I just feel like it's kind of just the way this league goes. A team that freaking won 6-0 the week before is going to lose like 1-0, 2-0 to like one of the worst teams in the league. So not too surprising, but yeah, it was just, I had full faith in San Diego winning, and they just got completely dominated. Like, as you can see right here with the total shots, they had 16, and I believe 11 of them were on target, versus San Diego's 9 shots all game, and only 2 of them were on target. With those kinds of shots, you're never gonna, Yep. I mean, I guess you can't say never, because sometimes you do see one shot, one goal, one on target, But yeah, so especially when you're trailing in a game, you want to make sure you're getting as much shots as possible. Kind of being like Barcelona today and taking 40 shots on goal, which is crazy, even though they only won 1-0. Like, the fact that somebody shot 40 shots in a match, so.
Yeah, he's got to represent, man. I get it. Yeah, dude, those are some solid stuff. I mean, San Diego, man, I don't know. I feel like it's 2 straight losses now, right? Kind of insane. And I do remember that Seattle game. I was watching a little bit of it. Like, all of those goals came within like the first 35 minutes. And I would be like, if I was watching that game like in person, I'd be thinking, what the hell? This whole game just ended in 35 minutes. And now I got to wait through the rest of this game, and there's nothing else going on.
That's how it felt when I went to the RSL LA Galaxy game. Diego Luna scored 2 goals, like pretty much like straight off the bat, and then I just feel like the LA Galaxy didn't want to win after, and it was just passing back and forth.
Yeah, those are tough to get through sometimes, but solid stuff, man. I really liked your pour one out. Just saying, but good stuff, dude, all around. Loved it. Lopez, Chino, Peasy,
Simon,
hit us up, my guy.
Let's get it. Starting out with my cracked team of the week. I poured one out for them last week. It seems that they listened to the podcast and took that shit personal. 5-3 win Sporting Kansas City, scoring late in the 73rd and 85th minutes to just absolutely capitalize. Just San Jose put up a fight, had a 94th minute goal at the very end of the game there, but Sporting Kansas City, man, good stuff. I didn't get to watch the game. I got to see the score at the very end and at the very beginning, and it was quite the shock. And after pouring one out, it seems that they have it figured out. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, it was a solid one for sure. I remember texting you about it, and it was like, dude, I think I started watching at like the 15th minute, and it was like 3-0. I was like, what the hell's going on? I'm turning this thing off. This is ridiculous.
No, man, it's just absolutely nutty. But yeah, no, San Jose is still putting up 3 goals. Good stuff. Not bad, but Kansas City, they're just built different. But on that same note, I'm going to butcher this last name. Same team, cracked player of the week, Daniel Saloy. Contributed a career best 4 goal contributions with 2 goals and 2 assists in Sporting Kansas City's 5-3 victory. He scored in the 21st and 73rd minutes, and it was just, like I said earlier, just crazy to see my phone, see that they were just putting up points. So I don't know, man. Maybe this week I have to pick my pour one out. Who knows? Maybe. But on that note, my pour one out. Let's pour one out for LA Galaxy. Game lost, season ass, but this is their week, baby. This is their week.
This is it. Hey, did you hear that? Fern, did you hear that?
Yeah.
You heard that, right?
This is the week.
Okay, so this clipping it. I'm clipping this now because there's been a bit of an argument here going on about when Galaxy's going to start to turn on the Jets. We believed it was at the beginning of this month, but now it's at the end of this month. Finna find out.
I had him coming. I had their comeback coming last week, and that definitely didn't happen. So also, man. Did you point out that Sporting Kansas City hasn't scored 5 goals in a game since 2019?
Dang,
I did not. I did not.
Started pouring it out.
Been a minute, man. That's probably a nice little surprise for them, for sure. I don't think they knew they were going to score 5 goals, that's for sure, but pretty solid stuff.
It's almost like you had those points pulled up as if they were your pick of the week.
Almost. Pretty close. Nice, dude. Solid stuff, bro. Love that, man. All right, going into my correct performances of the week. For those of you that don't know and have been kind of watching it a little bit, the correct performances are primarily just our favorite player, our favorite game throughout the last week. And then at the very end, we pour one out for a team, a player that probably did not perform to their best abilities, I guess. So just so you all know, that's kind of what this whole segment is about. But to get mine started, my correct game of the week, Portland Timbers versus LAFC. Wild game, man. I thought it was a pretty fun one to watch. It did end up in a tie, 3-3, which I know we don't like ties around here. But I thought, what a game to watch, and what a game, for LAFC to just continue to fight back from. I don't know if you guys watched this one, but Bouanga got called for offsides twice. So this game could have been 5-3. But also, Portland, they're good, man. They're a lot better than I thought. I think at the beginning of the season, I was like, dude, they're probably not going to be very good. But they're balling. They're doing a very good job, attacking and really controlling the pace of the game. So, the very first beginning of the game, very first 10 minutes, pretty crazy to kind of watch. And then finally, Olivier Giroud gets his goal for LAFC with a free kick. Very good free kick taken, to be honest. Solid stuff. But I do believe this is his first goal at LAFC. Fern, you're the Czech guy. You're the checking guy. I believe that is correct. He has been with the team 2 years now, I believe. And this was his very first goal that he has scored for LAFC.
It's not his first goal. It's his first goal since last year.
Okay, so he has scored before with LAFC.
Yeah, because he scored one goal against Sporting Kansas City in September 25th of 2024. Or actually, you know what? I think it might be his first MLS regular season goal.
Okay, that might be what it is.
Yeah, because his first goal was in the U.S. Open Cup, and then he scored another goal last year as well, but that was in the Leagues Cup. So this actually is his first league goal. So yeah. You're right.
So Giroud's very first MLS regular season goal. Wild, because this guy has been on some pretty dang good teams and has been on the biggest stage of them all, the FIFA World Cup with France.
If I'm not mistaken, he's France's all-time top scorer.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Dang. So 3-3, 29 total shots, 7 big chances created. VAR also was in this game at the very, very end. I think it was almost the 89th minute or 90-something minute. They gave LAFC a penalty, which Bouanga got. Bouanga scored the penalty. So VAR strikes again, right? They kind of dictated the game in that way. So it had a little bit of everything. And then at the very, very end, they gave him 11 minutes of stoppage time. At the 95th minute, Portland had a free kick, and this thing went off the crossbar, dude. Wild. So it could have been, a 4-3 game. It could have been a 5-4 game. It could have gone a lot of different ways. But it was fun to watch. And the people out there in Portland, honestly, they like their team a lot. They always come out and support. So good on them for sure. But that was my correct game of the week. For my correct performance, my correct player of the week, I'm going to have to give it to João Pedro for DC United, midfielder. But he scored both of the games in the win against the New York Red Bulls. I think he got a 9.1 player rating. Honestly, it's kind of been his best game of the entire season. But he played well. And I think the main reason why I wanted to pick him was because those 2 goals were just sick. They were really, really good goals. You guys will have to go back and watch them if you didn't see them already. But they were some sweet goals that I think they'll be on highlight reels for the end of the year of hey, these are some of the best goals that were scored throughout the season. So good on him, man. Good on Peglo. I think he'll be, someone to kind of watch. He was named on the team of the match day for week 9. So good on him, dude. He did pretty well this last week. Now for my pour one out, this is going to be a little bit of a winded pour one out here, but pouring one out. Oh, and I'm so sorry, Peglo. Apologies, good sir. Let me crack one open for you. There it is. Apologies. I forgot. I got carried away.
I completely forgot to pour.
Do it right now.
I'll do it.
Love it. Perfect. So yeah, like I said, my pour one out for this last week, I'm going to have to give it to Columbus Crew. Because yes, they lost to Miami, but I think they lost the entire day as a whole. the game was a little bit wild, right? I think we all were expecting a bit of a better game, maybe a bit of a more higher scoring game. But just so you guys know, and I don't know if you guys knew this, but they did move the game, right? So it was supposed to be at lower.com field where Columbus typically plays, right? I believe it holds about 20,000 fans, but they moved the game to Huntington Bank Field where the Browns play, which hold 60 plus thousand. I think it's like 65,000 fans. So it's a much bigger stadium, right? Obviously, you're going to do what you got to do when you're going to have, and you're expecting at least 60,000 fans to show up to this game. But if you guys didn't watch this game, there was so much pink in this stadium. It was wild. I did want to share something too that I saw on social media from post that I saw. It was from one of the Columbus Crew like supporters pages, and I did want to just comment on it a little bit here, because I think it's a little bit interesting kind of how this game went. This guy says basically this guy was born and raised in Cleveland. You know, when it comes to the MLS, he only supports one team, right? And that's the Columbus Crew, right? But he says, you know, when I got downtown on the day of the game, he said, I saw MESSI jerseys everywhere, right? At the time, I thought it was just a casual excitement. Didn't really realize it was foreshadowing basically the entire match. This guy said, from the moment I walked into the stadium, it was obvious. This didn't at all feel like a home match. Okay. Mind you, this is in Ohio. It's not in Miami. And it says almost everyone around me was in Inter Miami and MESSI gear. And while I definitely expected some of that, being in a city 2 hours from your home, it still absolutely infuriated me how loud the crowd got every time MESSI so much as touched the ball. Okay. The atmosphere was flat out disappointing. You know, you got to give credit where credit's due. You know, moving the game to a bigger field. You know, you obviously want to have, you know, your crowd there, but they didn't allow tifos or banners. They didn't allow any of that. And they didn't remove, you know, they basically like took, didn't like bring their main supporter section. Like they didn't give them like a spot in the other stadium. So given all that, I said, it's no surprise the atmosphere was terrible. Every time we tried to get the Columbus chat going, people in the section would just yell MESSI instead. Said at the end of the day, this was a massive failure from the Columbus Crew organization. And honestly, they should have seen it coming. The comparison I kept using from people here in Cleveland was, imagine if the Browns or Steelers game was moved to Columbus or Cincinnati. It's very clear this wasn't growing. This wasn't about growing the game. It wasn't for the fans. It was a business decision. Oh, pouring one out for Columbus for that one, because I think, you know, I get it, right? Messi's coming to town. You want to go watch him. You want to support him. But for God's sake, dude, if you're in Columbus and you're a Columbus Crew fan, support your damn team, man. Like, I get it. It's messy. Support your team, though. It's ridiculous. I'm curious what you guys think.
You'll catch me at an
ridiculous.
RSL game with a MESSI jersey on, bro. I don't care. That's all I'm saying.
I literally have a picture with him in the MESSI jersey at an RSL game. It's like, I can see it both ways, right? Where it's just like, okay, would there have been still a massive MESSI fan turnout at this game had it been at lower field, right? Lower.com field? I don't know. Like, is it just the excitement of attracting MESSI? Like, would that home field advantage even have mattered, or would it still have been like 50-50 overrun with MESSI fans? I don't know. It sucks having a game moved about 150 miles away. I had to look that up from where you're at. And I really don't believe that it's like, oh, that the Miami fans turned out. It literally just is MESSI fans. So it really becomes that business decision. But at the end of the day, man, like, it's a business. The MLS is going to do what they're going to do. They're going to move it to a bigger stadium because they know that people want to go watch MESSI play. They got to do what they got to do to make money. And I really do believe that this is an overall good for the MLS, in my opinion. But open to hear more opinions.
Yeah, I love MESSI League soccer. You know, it's my favorite time of the week. But no, I mean, it makes sense to open up the stadium. It kind of sucks because you move out of what you're used to. So technically, yeah, it's a home game. But at the same time, it's kind of not. Because even though it's only 2 hours away, I live about like 2 hours away from the RSL stadium. And honestly, that kind of does deter me a little bit. Like, I can't just, I mean, I guess I could technically go to the RSL games every weekend they play, but having to do that 2 hour trek all the time is kind of like a deterrent for me a little bit. So I can kind of see, like, you know, obviously the biggest fans will go. And if you're moving the stadium to a bigger place and MESSI's there, then most of the people going there are unfortunately going to be going for Messi. Fortunately, unfortunately, however you see it. And yeah, I mean, and then even like not even just like leaving your home stadium. As I was watching the game, they were talking about how the field is actually smaller at the stadium that they were playing at because it's a football stadium, and most of the time soccer fields are a little bit bigger than like a football field, kind of like a bit wider, kind of stuff like that, because you need to be able to move, kind of, you want to spread out the field as much as you possibly can, because if everybody's condensed and there's nowhere to pass the ball. So you know what, maybe that had something to do with it. But I was watching the game and I feel like it wasn't too bad. I feel like the Columbus Crew, yeah, right? Am I tripping? The Columbus Crew, they played pretty. They played pretty well. They had some pretty dangerous moments, and I just feel that this is one of those games where it's either going to be super high scoring, like you get a bunch of goals, or it's going to be one of those games where everybody's playing super defensive. They don't want to lose. So you let in one goal and that's it, and that's kind of what happened here. They let in the youngster Kramaski come in and just score that header and win the game. But I mean, anytime Messi's in town, you're just going to see pink jerseys, unfortunately. So you guys just got to get used to it.
And I get it, man. At the end of the day, look, I understand that. I expected it too. That's why I wanted to bring it up. But it infuriates the hell out of me just because I get it. It's a big time player. He's a big time name. He's going to sell tickets. He's going to get people in seats. He's going to want.
He's the big time player.
Yeah. I mean, look, I'm a fan just like as much as the next person. But it infuriates me where a fan base can just turn on itself in a way just for one player. Like if you, even in like the best of times when we had, the Cristiano Ronaldo versus Leo Messi era of like them being in Real Madrid versus, Barcelona, like you're not seeing a Messi jersey in the Bernabeu. You're not seeing a Ronaldo jersey in Camp Nou. Like, dude, if you're going to compete against Messi, like show up, dude. Like you're going to have to like come up in here and be like, yo,
they're very strict about though in Europe though.
Yeah. Don't come over here and like cheer the guy on, like boo the guy. Like you want to beat Messi. Like what the hell are we doing? I get it. He's a good player, but like if he came to Real Salt Lake, I do the same thing. I put on a Real Salt Lake jersey every time he touches the ball. I'd be like, yo, your shoes untied. Yo, like mess up. Like I want RSL to beat Miami. You know what I mean? Like that's what I want. I don't want Messi to just go undefeated with Inter Miami this whole season. How exciting is that?
Me either.
Whatever.
He's oh my gosh, poor Chuck. He's a cultural phenomenon, man. That's all I gotta say. He is just one of those people who has attracted young fans. I apologize for my dog barking in the background. But at the end of the day, the Messi effect overall is going to be a net good for the MLS, especially as they attract more and more talent from Europe, in my opinion. So that is my piece.
For sure. I would just like to see more people like not just ride this guy. That's all I'm saying. I get it. He's a good player. He's gonna go down as probably the best to ever play it. But stick to your team, man. Stick to what you've been, supporting this whole time.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents. Good stuff though. I mean, love the little banter back and forth. I always love to kind of, have those discussions with you guys and just kind of see y'all's opinions. But again, pouring one out for Columbus Crew. I still think they're a great team. I hope this doesn't give them in a little bit of a slump, but we'll continue to kind of see how both of these teams go. If Inter Miami go undefeated, damn. that would be pretty insane, especially if they continue to look for like a Kevin De Bruyne. Like that'd be kind of insane.
Yeah, I honestly don't. I mean, if they go undefeated, I won't be mad about it, but I don't see it happening. I feel like they definitely have some, I don't know if it's like a midfielder problem or a defensive problem where they kind of just get caught on it. And most of the time they're kind of relying on Messi kind of saving them a little bit, Sometimes it's not Messi, sometimes it's somebody else, but most of the time it's, you see somebody score and then like, I don't know, like either Messi like does an assist at the last minute, but I feel like they have to be able to learn how to kind of play without him to kind of, play as better as a team. So yeah,
correct performances, solid picks from everybody. Going into the next section, the major headlines kind of coming up for this upcoming week and from this last week. Some pretty exciting games going on outside of the MLS, but still, including some of these MLS teams. The transfer window is kind of heating up. It's in the final minutes here. And then we do have, a couple little other things to kind of look at. And then we'll get into the picks at the very, very end. But to start us off, we're going to do the Concacaf Champions Cup, which the first leg of the semifinals will be this week. I believe they all start tomorrow.
They played Thursday?
So tomorrow and Thursday, yeah. So should be in with these games here. I think we kind of called a couple of these before the last games. But yeah, the Concacaf is heating up. The Concacaf Champions Cup is heating up. Tigres versus Cruz Azul tomorrow. And then on Thursday, the 20th, we have the Whitecaps and Inter Miami, which I think this could be kind of that primary game to watch. I'm actually super excited to watch these two teams play and go at it. But curious kind of on what you're thinking with, the game tomorrow, the game Thursday, and then kind of how they'll play out with the end of the week, because then they have to come right back the next week and play the second leg on the 30th and the 1st. So going into the first ones, what are you thinking? How do you kind of see these playing out?
Yeah, so honestly, I have kind of, my thought process is I have Tigres kind of winning the first game between Cruz Azul, but Cruz Azul also did play a really good game and beat America to get this far, and beating America is not easy, But I don't know why, I feel like Tigres has the advantage. I was looking at the kind of the injury stuff before, because I know Gignac was out the last couple games, and it seems like he's probably going to be out again. And so we'll see. If Gignac doesn't play either of these two games, I can see Cruz Azul going through. I don't watch a lot of Liga MX. I just know, I'm pretty sure Cruz Azul is like known for choking or something like that. And most of the time I see Tigres winning. So we'll see how it goes. My friend Brian is a really big Cruz Azul fan, but he's also a Madrid fan, so he doesn't know too much about soccer, so we won't get into that. But yeah, I do have Tigres going in, winning. I don't know if they'll win tomorrow, but I do have them going through. Because I just feel like these games are going to be played very conservatively, because this is a semifinal game. Anything, like if you mess up tomorrow or Thursday, you got a really big uphill battle. And with the Thursday game with Inter Miami and the Whitecaps, which for some reason it's like I swear they made it on purpose. So now it's an MLS or a Liga MX team has to win the final, So
Yeah.
I feel like they kind of set it up. Yeah, they have to get that going. But this is a really hard game. I don't know what the weather is like out in Vancouver right now. I can't imagine it's too warm.
Yeah,
But we'll see how it goes. I don't know. I feel like if Inter Miami comes in kind of with more of like the aggression and like pressure that they had in the second leg with LAFC, they can get something going. But the Vancouver Whitecaps have also been one of the best teams this year. So I'm obviously going to have Inter Miami going through to the final. But I am very excited for this matchup, because I feel like it's going to be a really good game. And as long as it's not too horrible of a score line tomorrow or Thursday, I feel like Inter Miami might have the upper hand with the second leg being at home.
Yeah,
and they have a pretty good home record. So
yeah, for sure, I totally agree. I mean, yeah, I think the first game, the Tigres Cruz Azul games, can be kind of go either way. Both teams honestly super good. We looked at this one a little bit, and I guess the last time they met in February in the regular season play, Tigres did beat Cruz Azul 2-1, but that was in February, so it's definitely been a little bit of time since then. But like you mentioned, Cruz Azul beat America, which is not an easy thing to do to get to this game. I think Estadio Universitario I believe that's whose home is that? That's Tigres' home. I think that's Tigres' home. So it looks like they're going to be in Tigres' home, and then they're going to be in Cruz Azul's home for the second leg. I mean, it's going to be a tough one. It'll be fun to watch either way. But tomorrow, I do think Cruz Azul will probably take it, and I think they take the whole thing, and they get to the final. So, I think I have Cruz Azul going. But then, like you said, I think the Whitecaps Inter Miami game is going to be the one to watch. The one that I'm most excited to watch, honestly, because Inter Miami did just take on Columbus Crew. They beat the Columbus Crew. They were both the last remaining undefeated teams in the MLS. And then now they get the opportunity to play Vancouver, which is a very hot team right now. Kind of, some people even saying that they're probably the best team kind of playing right now within the MLS, to kind of see, okay, from out of these two teams, like who's going to come out on top in a tournament setting, right? So it's kind of you kind of have to win. You kind of have to go all out. So I'm excited to watch it, man. Yeah, but like you mentioned, BC plays. They're going to play in Canada Thursday at 8:30. I'm imagining it's probably not going to be super warm, just given the time and then given, where they play. So it could be a bit of a cold game, but I know that doesn't really affect, Messi and really any other player at this point. So I will probably have Vancouver winning the first leg, but like you mentioned, second leg being in Miami at 6 prime time, it'll be hard to beat them there. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
I
and
think
it
it
is
goes into
63-ish degrees in Vancouver on Thursday. So
dang, and that's the high.
yeah, that's the high.
Yeah, so it'll probably get down to in the 30s by the time this
Mhm.
game is being played, or at least by the second half. But yeah, I think, like I mentioned, I think Whitecaps taking the first leg. Inter Miami will probably, they'll probably tie it up. I'm hoping it goes into like stoppage penalties, and we kind of see them both, hash it out within a penalty shootout. Will it happen? I don't know, but I do think Miami will probably get the win at the end of the day after the 2 legs, and then, like I said, Cruz Azul will probably beat Tigres going into the second legs.
My daddy always taught me to be a Cruz Azul hater. Here we are hating Cruz Azul. So let's go Tigres. Vamos. I taught myself to be a Fern hater. So I'm going to hate on Fern. Let's go Whitecaps. Let's get it. I'm going to stay a Fern hater. Nah, bro. Whitecaps throughout. Give me Los Tigres throughout.
All right.
Nothing but hate in
There
my
you
blood.
go, man. Easy does it, man. That's simple and straightforward, dude. I mean, at the end of the day, I completely picked the opposite of what you thought, but you never know, honestly, at this point. Solid stuff there. Concacaf Champions Cup coming to an end here. Next up, we did want to discuss a little bit about the transfer win.
Can I ask something about the Champions Cup real quick? Is the final determined by who's like the highest seeded, or how does that work? Because I'm trying to see where they play the final, and all I can see is last year's they played in Pachuca, and Pachuca won. So I'm just wondering if you knew.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's even like very confirmed. I was looking at it the other day too. From my understanding, the final will be played from whoever's the highest seeded going into it. I believe that's what they did last year. I could be wrong, but from the CONCACAF website, like all it says is final Sunday, June 1, single leg. Doesn't have anything in terms of like where it will be played. So I'm assuming they're either going to, take the highest seed.
Okay.
Or if it's Miami, they'll probably pick a neutral zone.
Okay.
I don't know. That's just me being a bit of a Messi hater as well there. But I'm not sure, man. That's a good question to ask because I'm not really too sure. They haven't really made it very clear on their website.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's why I was kind of confused because I'm like, was wondering if it was going to be here in the U.S. or in Mexico or something. I feel like everything is in the U.S. right now, so I was just wondering.
Yeah, I'm sure they want Miami to win this so that it can be in Miami.
That's what I was kind of thinking. I'm like, are they waiting to see if Miami wins to just be like, oh, let's just have it at
if Miami
Hard
wins,
Rock Stadium.
Yeah, I'm saying if Miami wins, they're going to Hard Rock. They're selling out the Hard Rock. It's going to be nuts. That's probably what they'll do, but we'll see. But yeah, it'll be fun to watch kind of these next upcoming games this week. Next up, I did want to talk a little bit about the transfers. Peasy, a little bit of a Lopez lesson in my guide. Do you know how transfers kind of work in soccer? Do you even know, like, when we say transfer window, do you know what that means?
I assume it's a certain period of time before a player has to trade. Like a team can't trade beyond the deadline, I assume.
Correct. That is correct. So yeah, there is. I don't know. I'm not sure if it's the same with every other league, but they do have 2 windows in MLS. It sounds like there's probably 2 as well in like Premier League and other leagues too.
Yeah, so Europe does the summer transfer window and then the January transfer window.
Okay, but the summer one is basically like they're not playing in the summer.
Yeah, so during the summer, basically is the biggest one. I don't know how long it is. The January transfer window is obviously just January, and that's usually to help, like, to allow teams that kind of had players that were injured, or they're like, oh, you know what, our team's not doing the best in this spot, let me just give them a chance to be able to get somebody in January, like halfway through the season.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so it's a little bit interesting, but yeah, the MLS one will end tomorrow on April 3rd. That'll be kind of the cutoff of the first transfer window, and then the secondary transfer window will start from July 24th to August 21st. So that'll be the last chance that these teams kind of have to kind of go about and make some, some transfers, some trades, things like that, and kind of get their team ready for the playoffs. I did want to just share this really quickly. Looks like there's been quite a bit of movement just from the last couple of days. Looks like we do have Sporting Kansas City obviously coming up with a couple, transfers. The San Jose Earthquakes, San Diego, and a couple others. I think what's cool here too is you can kind of see not just are they pulling, teams from other, MLS teams, but there's teams coming from Liga MX. There's players coming from, the Premier League. This guy came from Nottingham Forest, which is the Premier League. And then also, right here, you got some homegrowns or some younger guys. This one's interesting given that this is from USL. I know we've talked about the USL a little bit here before, but I think for, a player from the USL, I believe this is Orange County, to get called up to the MLS, to Colorado Rapids, like I believe that's what they want to do, right? So that's kind of where they want to get to. So super cool to kind of see that. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of different things kind of, moving about within the next, few hours here, next like 24 hours. But I think, a lot of these teams have a lot of things that they want to fix. Can they do it in this one, or do they wait until the secondary transfer window to kind of make some of these adjustments, right? One team I haven't seen, looks like, I don't think Galaxy's really picking anybody up. This is Galaxy transfer forward. They're transferring someone out, but Galaxy's not really picking anybody up from what I'm seeing.
They don't have very much GAM, or they have zero. They have zero. Yeah. So that's what was it. The one episode you were gone, me and Lopez talked about it. You had sent us over that GAM list, and they were literally on the bottom with zero. So we were talking about how they're starting off the season so bad, and they literally have no options of like GAM, and they'd have to get rid of players. And that's kind of something you don't want to do right now when you're doing so bad. And I did want to talk about that San Jose acquisition where they picked up that defender from the Columbus Crew.
DeJuan Jones.
DeJuan Jones. And honestly, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know too much about him. They must, rate him very highly to be giving 425,000 GAM to the Crew as well as an international spot, which, it kind of makes sense because at the beginning of the season, we talked about how San Jose has a really good front line, and you've seen it. They can score goals. They can, a lot of their games are pretty high scoring, but I feel like that also has to do with them not being able to defend, and that's what's kind of losing them the games. And it seems like they also have the same like thoughts. They're like, you know what, we're losing not necessarily because of our offense, but more because of our defense. We can't defend. So yeah, they brought in DeJuan Jones. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Wonder if it works kind of like in basketball or like football where kind of you get traded in the next game you're already playing. I wonder if he'll play for them this week and kind of check that game out and see how he does.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and it does say right here that he has played for Bruce Arena before when Bruce Arena was coaching the New England Revolution, and they did win the Supporters Shield that year in 2021. This could be one of those things where it's like it's a pretty big trade at the end of the day. Like they did give up a lot to get him, but if it works out for them and they have a good back line because of it, then more power to San Jose. Definitely. Good on them. But yeah, we'll kind of keep track of this. I think it's still a little bit, to kind of look into here. Obviously, there's still talks of the Kevin De Bruyne possibly coming in, but he'll probably be something, in the next transfer window. I did hear some stuff about Jamie Vardy over in the Premier League as well, possibly coming over. But yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, as a team, if you want to be successful, you got to, make some transfers, kind of build up your squad as you go. Unless you're, you kind of use it all up and you got nothing going for you, and so we'll see how it all goes, how it all turns out for these teams.
I don't know how Toronto won a game before them. I'm not gonna lie,
dude. We can talk about that too. I don't know what the heck happened. Did you guys end up watching that Real Salt Lake versus Toronto game?
You know what? I was actually not, or I was in the area. And I told my wife, I'm like, I'm so tempted to go watch the game because my daughters haven't been to a RSL game yet. So I was just like, let's do it. And the tickets were only $25 per person.
No way.
And that was too expensive, honestly, for what happened. So I'm glad I didn't go.
Well, it's too expensive now because you got to leave the state of Utah.
Yeah, true. I should have.
Dang, I know. Well, it is one of those things where you look at it and you're like, dang, dude, I can't believe they obviously beat Real Salt Lake, but also to kind of look at it and say, hey, look, you guys just got bought by the Millers for a lot of money, and the way that we kind of show up and be like, hey, this is kind of what you bought. You lose to one of the only winless teams in the MLS left. And you not only do you only lose 1-0. I think that was wild. But during the game, Diego Luna, which we've been discussing, kind of throughout these episodes, he did pick up a red card. Did any of you guys see that or catch a clip of that?
I did. Yeah. It was a pretty soft tackle, honestly. If I wouldn't I didn't think it was red card worthy, but I guess neither did RSL, so that's why they kind of challenged it.
Yeah, no, it was pretty dumb. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it was a corner or something, sort of a free kick, and one of the players from Toronto, kind of like wrestled him down in a way, and so when they wrestled him down, the legs got tangled, and then they got up, and Diego was like, "Yo, what's up, homie? Like, what's good?" And then the ref only caught that glimpse, gave him the red, and then RSL plays a man down basically the rest of the game, which could have cost them that game at the end of the day. I think it probably made it so that, it was a little bit more difficult for them to play. And with your best guy out, makes it tough. But I will say, and I'm sorry for saying this, but they're number 10, their guy that's supposed to be scoring some goals here. Dude,
Bro,
what are you doing?
That's what I'm saying.
You need to pick it up.
Is that the same guy that I was talking? No, I think it was 11.
Yes.
Or was it 10? The same
Yes.
guy, bro. I'm telling you, he had the easiest. I'm
Yes.
not saying I could do better. I'm sitting at my house, but I'm just saying, viven en un country. Have you ever heard that freaking audio?
Gosh,
I'm like, this is what you do, bro. Like, come on, you got to.
Dude, I know. They got the best shoes. They got the best ball. They got the best jerseys. And you miss. And there was also one moment where he kind of had a turnaround. He could have turned and maybe passed the ball, and he just literally, instead of turning and controlling the ball, he turns and just whacks it and tries to score a goal, and he blew it 25, 30 yards over the goal. I was like, bro, I could do that, and you're being paid. I believe he's the highest paid guy right now in RSL, and I don't think the guy scored. I believe you spell his last name Diogo.
Yeah, I'll look and see who the highest paid players are right now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's on that list for Real Salt Lake, but I think I also saw something where Diego Luna's current market valuation was somewhere in the realm of 8 million, and so this guy, I mean, I don't think he's leaving this transfer window. He's probably not leaving the next, but next year you guys better watch out, because if he, more people watch him, he continues his kind of run, the guy's going to Europe. You know what I mean?
I hear Barcelona wants to buy him, so I mean, if he goes there, he can go there.
Dude, he'll get hella good if he goes there. Pretty insane.
I'm trying to find the thing, but I can't find exactly his contract, but he is the second highest market value person on the team.
Okay.
Do you know who the first one is?
Yeah, Diego Luna.
Is it Luna?
Yeah, Diego Luna, but yeah,
But that's not current contract, right? That's just value.
No, it's just the value, yeah. And the funny thing is, I went on the kind of, I guess, this transfer market searcher, and it kind of does a up down, whether their value is going up or going down.
Right.
And Diego Luna is actually at 8 million right now, and that Diego Concacaf, the number 10, his value is down, and he's down to 3.5. So he's actually the third highest valued player at the team. I just don't know where I can find what their actual contracts are. Yeah. But his contract does expire. When does it expire? It expires next year, December 3rd.
Okay. We'll give him some more time. Maybe he'll pick it up. Who knows? But as of right now, it ain't looking so great. But anyways, yes, that red card from Diego Luna has been rescinded, and he will play this upcoming weekend, so we can steer clear of that. I did want to go into another piece. I want to keep the World Cup conversation going. I know we all are super excited for it, but there's been a lot of different things kind of coming up for the World Cup in terms of ticket pricing, in terms of people traveling, in terms of a lot of different things, and we can cover all those things, maybe not on this little section right now, but I did want to ask Lopez Lessons, my guy, do you know how many teams have currently qualified for the 2026 World Cup as of right now?
I've always been a lucky number 7 guy. Let's go with 7. A complete guess.
Are you really guessing?
Straight up, I'm a 77 in high school football, baby. 70 when I was a freshman. Lucky number 7. My Gmail, it has 77 in it.
Dang, that's wild, bro. I mean, lucky number 7, dude, but you are correct. Pretty insane. That is pretty insane. I just had this pulled up and now I don't have it. But here, let me pull this up. Teams qualified for World Cup 2026. You are correct. It is 7. Obviously, you got the first 3, which is very easy. The U.S., Mexico, and Canada, which are the hosts. But for the next 4, you do have Japan, which was the first to qualify. And then you do have New Zealand, Iran, and then Argentina, which it wouldn't be a World Cup without Argentina.
Pan got that Project Blue Lock going, bro. You guys ever check that out?
Project what?
Blue Lock?
Blue Lock?
Yeah, you got to check out that anime.
Oh, Blue Lock. Got it.
Yeah.
Yes. I have heard of that. Yeah, dude. I did see something that, I think the coach believes they can win the World Cup. At the end of the day, any team can really win the World Cup. But would I love to see Japan win the World Cup? Absolutely. I need a Japan jersey, to be completely honest, because they always have fire jerseys.
Do you have any other questions for Lopez by chance? Because I had one pulled up that after you're done that I can kind of ask you guys.
Yeah. Okay, Lopez, another question specifically towards the World Cup. Do you know how many teams will qualify for this upcoming World Cup 2026?
This the year that they upped it. I swear I saw an article or something. I don't know. This is like a very vague memory, and if I get it right, it's not because I looked it up. It's because I saw an article somewhere somehow a long time ago, and I could be very much lowballing it. Let's go 36.
Okay, yeah, you were close. 48.
Oh,
Darn.
So 48 teams will qualify for this upcoming year's World Cup. But do you know how many teams have normally qualified for the World Cup? How many they normally have?
Oh, I don't. Because was it? I don't know if they doubled it. I'm just going to straight up guess. Laugh at me if I'm wrong. Give me 22.
Okay, it's not too far off, but it's 32.
Dang.
You're about 10 off. But yeah, 32 teams normally get into the World Cup. But you're correct, because it is 3 countries hosting this upcoming year. They upped it to 48. Is it just because it's with 3 countries? Is it because it goes from 64 games to 104 games? Is it because they want more people watching, more butts and seats, more tickets sold? Who knows? But yes, everything's been a little bit up to this point. That is all the questions I had. Fern, did you have any other World Cup, FIFA World Cup questions for Lopez Essence?
No, I just had a bunch of questions I wanted to ask about Messi. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah,
Stop.
I have a just because we were kind of talking about like goals and stuff. I kind of wanted to ask. I don't know that it's kind of for both of you. I don't know if Lopez would know who the top goal scorers in the World Cup are, or even if you know who the top goal scorers are. So I just thought I'd ask if you guys happen to know who the top 3 are by chance.
Ooh, top 3. That's a good.
Is Messi up there?
I will tell you that Messi is not up there.
Yeah, I don't think he's up there. I do believe one of them is from Alemania, from Germany. I forget his first name, but his last name's Klose.
Yeah, it's Miroslav Klose. He actually became the top scorer in 2014. I'll give you a fun fact about that after you guess who the second person is.
Okay. I know Klose.
That's number 1.
Okay, yeah, I know Klose. I want to say it's R9. Ronaldo is up there. Is he number 2?
He's number 2. Yeah,
Okay.
He's number 2. And the fun fact I wanted to say was he actually beat R9's record by scoring during the 7-1 beatdown of Brazil in their hometown in the semifinal. So,
Dang.
yeah.
Yeah, what a rough day.
Do you know who the third one is, Lopez?
No.
I don't know if you'll get it.
I don't. Tell me the country. I might know. I don't really.
Germany.
It's another German. Is it? It's not Lewan. No, he's German.
He's old.
Oh, then I probably
and he was like one of like the most prolific goal scorers in the game of soccer. If you don't know, I can tell you who it is.
Yeah, I don't think I know.
It's Gerd Muller. I don't know if you've ever heard of him, but the reason I was going to talk about it was because do you think you could guess how many goals the top goal scorer has, Lopez?
I don't know, bro. I really don't even want to guess right now. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's 16 goals, which that's kind of like what I was hoping you would guess, like a crazy number, like 40 or something like that.
I shit you not. I was gonna go with 40. Like, I was going to go like 44 or something crazy. So you weren't wrong.
Yeah, because I feel like that's kind of surprising for some people sometimes when you talk about it, but you have to realize that this tournament happens once every 4 years. And if you don't make it far, you're not scoring a lot of goals like Miroslav Klose. It took him 4 World Cups to be able to become the top scorer, and he barely did it by scoring 2 goals in the 2014 World Cup. And even Gerd Muller, who's number 3, had 2 World Cups. He scored 10 goals the first one and 4 the second one. But the one thing that surprised me is Kylian Mbappe is top 5 goal scorer in the World Cup with 12 goals and only 2 World Cup appearances. Yeah, he scored 8 goals in the previous one and 4 before that. And so he's number 5 in the top 5. Messi's top 6. Messi's number 5. Kylian Mbappe is 6th, and Messi's only 3 goals away from matching the top goal scoring record. But he's also been to a few World Cups, so
yeah, that's insane.
But yeah, the Kylian Mbappe one surprised me because he's literally going into his 3rd World Cup and he's only 4 goals away, 5 goals away from breaking it.
Yeah, and he's what, 22, 23?
Yeah, no, he's old. Is he that young?
He's pretty young. I'm pretty sure he's pretty young. I want to say he's like 24.
I know I'm old, but I don't know if I'm that old. Dang, yeah, he's 26.
Okay, 26. Yeah. But still, I mean, the guy's young, and he's going into his 3rd World Cup, and he's probably going to go into...
Yeah, most people play 4 World Cups, honestly, so...
Yeah, that's insane. Yeah, we'll have more, World Cup knowledge over here. I think it'll be fun to kind of get some trivia going of like World Cups kind of as we kind of get closer. I did want to make 2 comments on the FIFA World Cup, and then we can kind of get into our picks. Do you guys think this is Messi's and Ronaldo's last World Cup?
For sure.
I mean, I would say if Messi even plays this World Cup, bro, he's not making it. He's going to get injured. He's too old. He's too old. He's washed.
Bro,
just kidding. He's not washed.
Knowing Argentina, even if he's injured, they'll still somehow get him on the roster so they can win it and he can get a second one. But no, honestly, there's no way that they play again unless somehow like Messi plays like less of an important role in the team or something like that. With Ronaldo, he was already getting benched last World Cup, and I feel like
you guys remember watching the Mike Tyson fight, and everyone was like, "Oh, this is gonna be a sick fight," and then that's what that would become with Messi and Ronaldo in the next World Cup, bro. It'd just be these old guys where it's just watch it, just be like, "Oh man, they're so cool, they're the goats," and they're just old guys.
That's what it's been for the last like 6 years, actually. So it's just going to keep going. But yeah, knowing Ronaldo, he'll probably try and keep playing for another like 20 years just so he can get a World Cup or something like that. But no, I know for a fact Messi has said that he wants, with how he is currently and how he's feeling playing, he feels like he can play this World Cup and he wants to. So yeah, we'll definitely see him there. The only thing is that there's no way. I don't see it. He's 38. By the time next year, 39, he'd be like 44, 45-ish by the time the next World Cup comes up. And if he's still playing at that time, I'm just going to...
Yeah, I think this is for sure their last one, to be honest with you. It'll be kind of their last hoorah. So, obviously that'll kind of come into effect, and I'm sure they're going to start kind of saying, hey, come and watch Ronaldo's last World Cup appearance, Messi's last World Cup appearance. That'll be something that they'll probably kind of point out. So we'll see. Obviously the GOATs, they got to go out a certain way. Hopefully one of them wins it, but it'll be tough, just kind of given the competition. Lastly, me and Fern were talking about this before you jumped on for prep, Lopez, but a little bit interesting here too. We all kind of know FIFA's a little bit corrupt, possibly, potentially, hypothetically. We're just assuming, which is our opinion. They might be a little bit, there's another calambre. No, I thought it was.
I was getting cold. I had to close my window.
But we do know a little bit of things that are kind of go on behind the scenes. It might be a little bit sketchy. Lopez, do you know that they have already decided on the host country for the 2034? Is it 2034 World Cup? 2034? Yes. 2034 World Cup.
So two World Cups
ahead. Yeah. So it's 2026. They have a 2030, and then they did already draw for the 2034 World Cup. Do you know where it's going to be? Do you have any guesses?
Is it another oil-rich country?
Yes.
Is it Saudi Arabia?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes, exactly correct. Now, here's the funny thing about this. And we were talking, like I said, we were talking about this before. So for this FIFA Club World Cup this year, there is kind of two people that are kind of having the streaming rights to the games. But one of them that maybe we haven't really seen kind of do any sort of soccer is DAZN, DAZN. Yeah, DAZN. You've probably heard of them, but they primarily do like boxing, like combat sports, right? That's kind of primarily what they stream. They have exclusive FIFA Club World Cup streaming rights for this upcoming year. The funky thing is, they're not a Netflix, they're not a Hulu, they're not like some crazy big streaming service, right? It's a little bit odd to kind of see them win the bid, right, for the streaming of the FIFA Club World Cup, right? We did a little bit of digging. The draw for the World Cup happened in December of 2024, okay, for the 2034 World Cup, and it was Saudi Arabia. At the same time, DAZN won the streaming rights for the FIFA Club World Cup. And at the same time, Saudi Arabia became a minority owner, big owner in DAZN, and they paid him $1 billion. So, all of this to say, it was a little bit interesting in the way that they do things, even though they draw for some of these World Cup host countries. But surprisingly, Saudi Arabia won the 2036 World Cup draw after all of these things happened with DAZN, with the investment, with everything else. Was it fair? Was it clean? It's up to everybody else to decide. Figured I'd let you know about that, though. Don't know what your thoughts are on it. That's the last thing.
Gotta follow the money, man. The money's there, and I don't know. I could recommend several podcasts. Drop it in the comments. I'll drop it to you. That can explain a little bit more of that FIFA World Cup corruption level stuff. But and again, our opinion. Hypothetically, I'm not accusing anybody of anything. These are my thoughts.
Yep. Exactly. But yeah, man, a little bit interesting for sure. So, anyways, we have been going on quite a bit of headlines that we've discussed already today. But we're going to go ahead and get into our picks for week 10. Will any of you be able to knock me off of my throne for this upcoming week?
Me.
We will see. We will see. But let's get into it, fellas. We haven't got a lot of time here, so let's get right into it. Full slate on Saturday and a big slate on Sunday, which I love this. I love the way that they did it for this week, but making sure I'm in the right week. Yes, we do have to start us off the 12:30 game. Excuse me. FC Cincinnati versus Sporting Kansas City. Fern, kick us off, dude. Who do you got?
Was it a fluke? Or are they good?
Who knows?
I don't know.
Good question.
I don't know. I feel like this is I'm going to go with Cincinnati. Just because last week I feel like I was kind of trying to go a bit against the tide and kind of get those picks, and that didn't go well for me. And Cincinnati has been playing really good. Like you see that they've 4 out of their last 5 they've won, drawn 1. And then Sporting Kansas City is a bit kind of flip-flop, lose, win. And I just feel like Cincinnati's a good team. And every time they've played a decent team, it looks like they've lost. So I'm going to have to go with Cincinnati on this one.
Got it. Lopez?
Me more. I'm going Cincinnati, man. Let's do it. Yeah, and Sporting Kansas City. They had a big win last week. Yeah, they were my team of the week, my cracked team of the week, and they had player of the week. But FC Cincinnati, man, let's get it.
Yeah, no, I agree with you guys. I think Evander's very good for this team. He's doing very good. I think they're a solid squad. They do have more injuries here, but they are at home, so I can see them kind of picking this up for this upcoming game. So Sporting Kansas City, I mean, you might be onto something, but FC Cincinnati is just too good right now. So give me FC Cincinnati. Next up, we do have Toronto versus New York City. Toronto coming off of their first win, but New York City not looking super great either. They've obviously been struggling a little bit, but curious kind of on what your guys' thoughts are. Chino, start us off, man.
I almost want you guys to go first on this one, but it's just my soul is telling me to go to Toronto. No further explanation. I'm just picking them. Lock it in. Yeah, okay. They're bad. They're bad. I don't think that they're turning it around, but something's telling me if I got to pick one, let's just go Toronto. Otherwise, it'd be a tie.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, it'll be a little bit interesting. Toronto does have some decent guys. with Insigne and Bernadeschi. I don't think they're a terrible squad. but they just haven't been winning a lot of games, right? New York City, I think they're struggling a little bit, to be honest with you guys, in the kind of the back half of their squad, kind of in the midfield and kind of in the defense. They haven't been looking super great. But I do know it's in Canada, but I believe New York City could kind of pull this one off. So I'm going to go with New York City, actually, for this one. But what do you think, Fern?
Yeah, I was gonna go with New York City as well, just because Toronto has been so bad. But now that Lopez picked them, I kind of want to as well. But I'm not. I'm not going to. They're pretty bad, and I'm still annoyed that they beat Real Salt Lake. So I can't, bro. I just moved here. Like I just moved to this place. Now I gotta leave. What
Yep,
the hell?
exactly. Well, tell me what you're going with. Toronto, you're going New York?
New York City. Yeah, New York City FC.
Perfect. All right, next one. We got New York Red Bulls versus Montreal. One of the teams, I believe, so New York Red Bulls, yeah, they've gotten a couple wins here and there. Montreal still looking for that win. They are one of the only two winless teams left in the season. Yeah, they're not very good. I'm sorry to say it, but can they win this one with that injury report? But given that they are going to be in Jersey, they're going to be in the New York home. Yes, New York lost to DC United just now, but I believe New York can kind of turn it around this upcoming week. So give me New York over Montreal. What do you think, Fern?
So I did write down Montreal on my paper, but I don't know. I'm scared. I'm just gonna go with my guy. It told me to go Montreal, so that's what I'm going with.
Oh, okay. Montreal, first win of the season, possibly. Lopez, what do you think, man?
You know how the saying goes, once a Fern hater, always a Fern hater. Give me the New York Red Bulls.
Nice. Love that, man.
I thought you were gonna pick all the Canadian teams this week. You already had Toronto. You got to go Montreal and then Vancouver.
My gut was telling me to go Montreal, but then I was going to go with a bit that I'm a Fern hater, so I love you, brother. I'm just all love in the hate.
Nice. Love it. Next up, we have Philadelphia Union versus DC United. Two pretty decent teams. DC United obviously having that crazy little, slump right there. But they did end up beating New York Red Bulls. Looked pretty decent. Didn't look amazing, I will say, but they did end up winning 2-1. I do think Philadelphia Union is a better team on this one, so give me Philadelphia over DC United. But what do you think, Lopez?
Philadelphia. Lock it in.
Nice and easy. Fern, what do you think, man?
I'm going with the Waves. Let's go Philadelphia, because DC United is garbage.
Easy. They're not that bad. Come on, man.
Bro, look at their record.
They won. Yeah, but it's a tough game for sure. Next up, we have Orlando City versus Atlanta. Both teams a little bit rough as last 3 weeks. But Orlando has won some games. I mean, this is an insane injury report too. A lot of these guys out until May. Atlanta United, I don't know what's been going on these last 2 weeks, but they really got to turn it around for sure. Curious, what are you thinking here, Fern?
I did want to do Atlanta, but now seeing that Lath is out with the suspension, it kind of makes me want to go Orlando. This is hard though, because 5 wins, 11 wins, 7 draws. Yeah, this is hard because it's so hard missing your number one forward, your number one striker, and then going into. Are they home? Yeah, no, they're going away. Yeah. So, okay, because I know Lopez is picking Atlanta. I'm going with Orlando.
Nice. Lopez, what do you think?
So if you believe, then get up on your feet and shout it loud. A-Town! Just kidding. I stole ourselves. Let's go, Atlanta.
Nice, dude. Solid, dude. Yeah, I think you haven't been able to score a goal in 3 weeks. It's a little bit tough. I do like Orlando. I think they're a pretty good team, but this injury report definitely scares me a little bit. So give me Atlanta. I'm going to go with Atlanta for this game. Okay, after this one, we do have Charlotte versus New England Revolution. Should be an interesting game here. Both of them coming off some wins. Playing in Charlotte. Man, this should be a pretty fun one. I mean, I wouldn't call it the game of the week, but it should be a little bit interesting. Lopez, what do you think, man?
I got to go back and look at my record and see how often I've picked Charlotte, but I'm going to stick with that's feeling there. and just go with Charlotte here. But I wouldn't be surprised if New England can pull it off.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it should be a little bit interesting. I mean, they're both pretty decent teams at this point, but I think Charlotte's a little bit more red hot at this moment, to be honest with you. So I'm going to go with Charlotte as well. Fern, what do you think, man?
I think I'm also gonna go Charlotte for this one. I was just doing a quick run through, and it looks like the last 4 weeks, I think Lopez has picked Charlotte like literally every week he's picked Charlotte.
Nice.
Let me
There's
see.
there's the footage.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go Charlotte. There's only 1 week that I saw so far that he hasn't picked Charlotte, but I'm going Charlotte with this one. Clean sweep.
Okay. Got it. Perfect. Next up, we do have Columbus Crew versus San Jose Earthquakes. I mean, it's hard for me to go against San Jose, but I do think before today, I probably picked San Jose in every single game. So I'm not going to go with them this week. I believe Columbus is going to want to come back, get a win, kind of get back to their winning ways. They are at home. They don't have any crazy injuries. They probably just got to get morale back up. So I'm going to go with Columbus on this one. What do you think here, Fern?
So I'm just realizing that the defender they just signed, that's from the Columbus Crew, right?
Correct.
So okay, so
I don't know if he's playing, but yes.
Yeah, I'm not going with San Jose, unfortunately. They are just letting in too many goals, and the Crew is one of those teams that they play possession ball, so they're wanting to have the ball at their feet, and they're going to take shots on goal, and I just don't think San Jose has the power to stop them, so that's what I'm going.
There you go. Okay, Lopez, what do you think?
Yeah, San Jose has to show me a little bit more life before I can feel comfortable picking them again. So let's go Columbus Crew.
Got it. Perfect. Columbus is all around. Next up, we have San Diego FC versus Real Salt Lake. Rematch. Did they already play once before? I believe so, right?
Check the head-to-head, it should say. I think they've played once.
Yeah, they played once. Yes, I believe it was like the first game of the season.
Yeah.
And yeah, San Diego did win. Both teams kind of similar records here, coming off of 2 losses in the last 2 weeks. Luna no longer suspended, so he will be in this game. But I think San Diego is very good at home. I think they have a very awesome crowd. I think they're going to be hyped. Their main guys are there. I don't know what's been going on, honestly, recently, just to kind of have them lose some of those games. But I think San Diego takes this one again. I think they become another one of those California teams that Real Salt Lake just can't beat, or at least rarely beats. So I'm going to go with San Diego on this one. What do you think here, Lopez?
This is a tough one for me, man. I want to say RSL just because got to stay loyal to the fans, but as a fan, but they've just been so disappointing, and it's hard for me to turn away and say no. They did just get bought by the Millers, as you mentioned earlier, Reyes, and it's like, do they want to turn this around and show them something, or is it just more of the same? I think it's going to be more of the same. Give me San Diego as my official pick.
Got it. Fern?
I'll go to the movie theaters this week and buy 20 popcorns so they can get some good players on this team because we need it. I'm gonna go buy some popcorn, but unfortunately, I think this is the first week where all of us. No, it might not be the first week. I think we did this earlier in the year, but this is going to be one of those exceptions where we all go against Real Salt Lake. And knowing them, they're going to beat San Diego, but I'm still going San Diego.
Yeah, I do think we did pick we probably picked against them in this Minnesota game, but I can't remember exactly.
I'll find it.
But yeah, okay, sounds good. You got San Diego as well. San Diego's all around. Next up, we do have Houston Dynamo versus Austin FC. Not necessarily a no-brainer, but I think there's a bit of a favorite here. But I'll give you the first word here, Chino. What do you think, man?
That's all I got to say.
Bang, bang. Fern, what do you think, man?
I'm going to go with Austin. I just feel like they've been playing a little bit better than Houston Dynamo. Does Herrera still play for Houston Dynamo? I think he does, but
I don't know, man. That's a good question. I don't think so.
Did he retire or is he just not? Yeah, I don't see him on there. So, but yeah, I'm going to go Austin. I just feel like they've been playing pretty well. I haven't seen too many games of the Dynamo. But yeah, I'm going to go Austin.
Yeah, same here. Austin FC. I haven't seen much from Houston, so I'm just going to go with Austin. Next up, we do have Nashville versus Chicago coming into the night slot. MLS pretty okay teams, to be honest with you. I think they're both like kind of middle of the pack here. But I think, both are okay. But I think Nashville is kind of that team that's been showing us a little bit more of that they can, compete, that they have better players, that they have a good attack, they can possess the ball, and they can kind of do everything that they need to do to win a game. So I'm going to go with Nashville on this one. They're also home. So give me Nashville. What do you think here, Fern?
This is one of those games that I feel like I say this every time, but it's just one of the every time now. Like I'm not very good at these picks, so I'm just second guessing myself all the time now because I feel like I know who's gonna win and they never do. But kind of just going based off what the head to head is, and with it being home in Nashville, I'm just gonna have to go with Nashville.
Okay. Lopez, what do you think, man?
Can I just say I got sidetracked, and I will pick my team in a second here. But going back to the MESSI effect, I just was looking at a couple of things, went down the rabbit hole on the side here, and somebody from Chicago Fire posted this Reddit post 3 months ago when they played against Miami, and it's a picture of this target, and it's like, what the hell's going on here? There's no Chicago Fire merch at the Chicago Target, and it's all MESSI merch. It's all Miami MESSI merch. That is just another point there. Here, give me Chicago Fire. They're going to win this game against Nashville. Just wanted to throw that side tangent in there. That's hilarious. I'll send you guys the post after this.
Wow, that is wild, dude. See, that's what I'm saying, bro. Like, I get it. I guess I get the MESSI effect, but come on, dude. Really? Like, come on. Interesting. Okay, you going Chicago? Sounds good. We'll go to the last game for the Saturday slot. The evening game, Colorado versus Seattle. Could be a little bit interesting here. I mean, Seattle's been, pretty good the last couple of weeks, but they have shown some vulnerabilities here, towards the beginning of the season. And then Colorado, just like some of these games, I mean, beating Charlotte, beating San Diego, pretty crazy to kind of look at. This can kind of go either way, I think, but I do think this will be an exciting game. I don't think it'll be anything really boring, but give me Colorado. I'll go with the Colorado Rapids. I've gone against them too many times, and I think they're a pretty solid team. So give me Colorado. What do you think here, Lopez?
Down with the Pids. Give me. I have a dear friend who recently moved to Seattle, and that is the entire reason I'm picking Seattle for this game. So give me Seattle.
Nice. Solid. What do you think, Fern?
I am also going with the Seattle Sounders. I upped the Pids one too many times, and they let me down, so I'm not doing it again. All those people on social media lied to me. They said they were good, and they're not.
Hey, look. Hey, what's your app, Fern? They got a
It's
bone to pick.
Cracked Podcast.
They're all coming after the.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Sounders just because I'm kind of expecting a similar performance from Ferreira, this coming week, and this is now, or I guess this is technically his first week of actual game time for Morris. And I'm just thinking he should get more time. He came in the 62nd minute, so he got 28 minutes of game time. And I just feel like he's going to get more. I don't see Rusnak on there. If Rusnak is back, that's also another,
Yeah, it is interesting they haven't playing them as much.
So
like the full 90, which is interesting, but okay.
And I was looking at their head-to-head real quick, and the Seattle Sounders have 25 wins to their 7 wins and 4 draws.
That is pretty nuts. That is pretty crazy. Interesting, man. That'll be good. Be a fun little game to watch on Saturday. I do love this setup. I love having basically games all throughout the day, and then coming into the Sunday slot, kind of the full slate again. So I kind of love watching this for sure. But this one, I think this will definitely be a very interesting game. Minnesota versus Vancouver Whitecaps. Two teams doing pretty dang well. Kind of basically the same record over the last 5 weeks. They will be playing in Minnesota, but Vancouver obviously being just super red hot right now. They do have this game this week, so they'll have a game, right before this on, do they play Thursday? So they'll play Thursday, right? And then they'll play on Sunday evening, or I guess afternoon. So a bit of a heavy load there, because then they're going to have to turn around and play again that same week on Wednesday. So interesting here. What do you think, Fern? I know the mind's kind of rolling right now. What are you thinking?
I'm going with Vancouver just because they've been playing so well. I know they do play Thursday, and I mean, at least it's wait. Are they at home or away in this game?
They're away. They're in Minnesota.
They're away. Okay, Minnesota. But yeah, I'm gonna go with
Minnesota.
Vancouver just because they'll be at home. They don't have to do too much traveling. Yeah, it is on Sunday, but all the traveling is gonna come in. So what they play Thursday, probably travel out Saturday or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Vancouver. They've been playing too well, and with them playing at home on Thursday, I don't think it should affect them too much.
Interesting. I do think they're going to put more of an emphasis on the CONCACAF. I think they want to beat Miami. Bit of a hard one to go against with Vancouver being so good, but I do think Minnesota catches them on this one in between some of those road games. With the traveling, with the second leg that same week on a Wednesday. So give me Minnesota for this one. What do you think here, Lopez?
Yeah, I was going to go with the exact same reasoning there as you, Reyes. Give me Minnesota.
Yeah, a little bit tough. I mean, obviously it's hard to go against Vancouver right now, but got to do what you got to do. Next up, we do have Inter Miami versus FC Dallas. Honestly, I don't even think I needed to click into this one. Give me Miami. What do you think here, Lopez?
What did I say earlier? Once a Fern hater. Just kidding. I'm gonna have to go with Inter Miami on this one. There's no way, man. FC Dallas, let's get this out of here.
Yeah, for sure. It is interesting to look. Inter Miami has never beaten FC Dallas.
Have they played when Messi's been around though?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Probably not though. But what do you think here, Fern?
I'm gonna go Miami.
Yep.
But I do have an unfortunate fact about this game is I had a friend that was going out to a cruise this weekend, and they were going to be there in Florida on Saturday, and this game was actually scheduled for Saturday, and then they ended up moving it because of the CONCACAF game on Thursday.
Oh, really?
He had bought tickets to go watch Inter Miami, and since they moved it on Sunday, he wasn't able to go anymore. So
that sucks.
Yeah. So
next time, man. Next time. That is pretty sad. But yeah, I think Inter Miami's got a pretty, I wouldn't say an easy one. It's never an easy game, but I do think they're going to win in this one for sure. Next up, we do have another good one, probably the game to watch for Sunday, LAFC versus St. Louis. Both teams, with some pretty good losses, but LAFC with a couple more wins, a lot less, injuries and suspensions as well. I think this is, I wouldn't say call it a no-brainer, but it's a little bit obvious who is kind of the favorite here. So give me LAFC. But what do you think, Fern?
I am also going LAFC.
Nice. What do you think, Lopez?
Yeah, give me LAFC. A little bit of a boring one here, but yeah.
And then quickly, just to talk the previous game, Inter Miami and FC Dallas have only played once when Messi was on the team, and they won.
Interesting. Okay.
That one game, but it wasn't the league game, so that's why it doesn't pop up on the head-to-head.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll see what happens with that one. And then to round us out for Sunday Night Soccer, we have the winless LA Galaxy versus the red-hot Portland Timbers, but they are in Dignity Health Sports Park. They will be in Los Angeles. Bit of an interesting one here for sure. I'm going to ask the person that should go with who I think they're going to go with. Lopez, who's taking it?
Looking at my calendar here, it's past Easter, past 420. Is now a beautiful time for the LA Galaxy to stun the red-hot Portland Timbers on a Sunday night. Is going to be magnificent. I want to run that clip back. I want you guys to pull that up, edit it. I'll find it. I'll make the edit where I called this out, and I swear from the beginning I wanted the end of April, but I could be wrong. I guess I'll stand corrected here. We'll see how it goes, but give me LA Galaxy, which I believe I incorrectly said that their coach was gone. No, it was LAFC, right, whose coach was gone earlier on. So wanted to correct that. So, but yeah, give me LA Galaxy. It is time. We are looking at April 22nd here. We are well past the second half of the month. It is their time.
Interesting. Some bold statement right there. Fern, what do you think, man?
I'm like fighting demons in my head right now because I do feel like, I don't know why, I just feel like the LA Galaxy for some reason are gonna pull it out this week. Like I have a feeling. I already put Timbers on my paper, so I'm gonna go with the Timbers. But if they win, I'm just gonna be annoyed because I went with them last week and I premature something. I don't want to say it, but I picked them maybe too early. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Timbers this week.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, man, they're going to be, LA Galaxy's going to be at home, but, look at Portland, man. They've scored, like, more than three goals or more than 3 goals in, like, each of their last 5 games. They've had 1-0-0 game in the past 5 games. Their offense is clicking, and I don't think LA Galaxy's defense is very good whatsoever. So I'm going with Portland. I don't think it's Galaxy's time. I do think maybe the following week when they play Kansas City could be their time, but I don't think it's right now. So give me Portland.
Guess we're about to find out.
We will find out. We will see.
Next week, it's going to be the beginning of May.
Ooh, there you go. Maybe that's when it is, man. That's when they get all their players back, man. That's when it's going to start, dude. It ain't this week. It's next week.
Nah, if it's not this week, it's never. Just call it a season, pack your bags, go home. Don't even show up to the games at this point, LA Galaxy. You're done.
Yeah, if you go 10 wins, 10 losses to start the season, like, that's hard to come back from, bro. So we'll see what happens. But those are our picks for week 10. That is a wrap, ladies and gentlemen, for episode number 10. Thank you. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Thanks, everybody, for liking, subscribing, sharing. We are on Spotify now. Take a look, check us out. We will post a link probably on Instagram, TikTok as well, just so that y'all can also listen to us on Spotify. And we'll continue to kind of grow the channels as we go on. But again, give us a follow, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Spotify. Give us a listen whenever you can. We do this because we love to do this, but we love y'all. Any final words from any of you?
Comment down below what Fern's punishment should be for when he ends up last place in the leaderboard. We will take the most liked comment.
Love that, dude. Love that.
At what point, like, if I don't get up close, like, I'm not too far off. What were you at, Reyes? Like 54?
I think you're 3 or 4
I'm
below
like, yeah,
us.
I'm not too far off. At what point do I just give up? Is it 10?
You should just give up. Yeah.
No, I'm not. No, if I get down to like 10 off, then I'll give up. If this week doesn't go my way, then I'll give up.
Okay.
But
yeah,
I can already tell I got
do.
pretty much all
You're a quitter.
of these.
Just quit.
No, I'm not, bro. Come on. I don't give up till the end. I talk smack till I'm done. Well, I usually don't talk smack until I win. I don't like to talk smack before. I always jinx it. My punishment will be having to pay $1,000 to an Inter Miami game and not being able to see Messi.
No, that's lame. Yeah, but yeah, I love the idea, Lopez. Comment down below. Last place punishment. I love it. We'll kind of see what crazy ideas people have. And then I believe we decided on the jersey or something for first place. But if y'all have better ideas for what the winner should get, comment those as well. We'd love to kind of hear what y'all have to say. But again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you. Please like, subscribe, share. Thank y'all. This has been the Cracked Soccer Podcast. Peace. We out.
Assalamu alaikum.